All right, so this movie, folks, it opens with some blues guitar and a scrapbook of murders.
I like that she scrapbooks.
And she is a scrapbooker.
Gotta have your hobbies.
Just like my mother.
And your mom
Gotta
is in
keep
this
busy.
movie.
Oh, she is. You said, hey, that looks like your mom.
Does look like the nurse that pulls over and gets her car stolen and dies. It looks just like Matt's mom.
So, I mean, right away, on-screen text and narration is explaining it. So it's like right away, you're like, oh, this is just Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they're explaining like, oh, the local authorities are looking for a group known as the Devil's Rejects.
They're like the sticky bandits. Like, quit spray painting your name everywhere. Quit writing in blood every time you kill somebody. The Devil's Rejects were here. Like, stop it.
Although Austin said it's been a year since the first movie. What was taking the cops so long? Hey, I bet it was those freaks who live in that house.
Funding.
Yeah, they needed the money.
I'm assuming that they moved locations because, in the first one they are in a different location. So maybe it got too hot there and they decided to move. So, and then, Sheriff Wydell was just tracking them down. So it's not that house in the first one? That's not the House of 1,000 Corpses? It is not. No, that's like the Firefly Ranch. That's what they call it. So
those are like a baker's dozen of corpses. Not 1,000.
I just thought maybe it was a slow day. I don't know. So we see this dead naked body being pulled through the woods by a giant man wearing a bag over his head like Jason in Friday the 13th 2. Then he pulls off his mask when he sees cops.
Much more Leatherface, but go on.
But he's wearing a bag like Jason in Friday the 13th Part 2.
You're a bag.
I'm a bag.
I got you.
He sees that cops are descending on his house, and this is Tiny. We will find out Tiny Firefly, played by...
Oh, that's the joke you made earlier to Austin.
Yes,
all right.
Played by Matthew McGrory, who was the Guinness Book of World Records holder for tallest actor ever.
Wow.
And he died the year this movie came out at age 32.
Yeah.
But he was also in
Gigantism.
Yes. He was in Tim Burton's Big Fish.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
From that.
I remember him from talk shows. Sally Jesse Raphael.
We go into the house and we see this family. Otis sleeping cuddled with a dead naked body. Bill Moseley playing Otis. We love Bill Moseley on our Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 episode. We were celebrating all of that movie, but we loved that performance as Chop Top. Just such a special performance.
Loved it.
Sherry Moon Zombie. How did she get this role? She's playing Baby.
I don't know. She must have auditioned out of hundreds of women.
She's in all of his movies. I liked her in I like her in this, and I liked her in Lords of Salem. And
Did she get better at acting?
You don't think she's good in this? She's not effectively being.
I feel the learning curve. She gets good.
She's extraordinarily annoying in House of 1,000 Corpses. She tones it down for this one, for sure. And then she kind of ramps back up to the wild manic energy in 3 from Hell. But I'm like lukewarm on her sometimes. Sure,
okay.
I think
so
she's
it's
okay.
Not just, all right, good.
No, most people don't even like her to be. I'm up and down with her. Like Lords of Salem, I think is her best performance because she's a normal person living a life. And in these, in the trilogy, the Firefly trilogy, she's just unhinged and wild. So
I feel better about this. I kind of feel about her the way I feel sometimes about Harlequin, depending on who's playing her. It's just like, I get it. You're a menace. You're annoying, but like you have nothing to fucking say. Like, be smart and cruel, or just shut the fuck up. Quit acting like a baby. It's weird.
That's the point.
It's weird. All right.
The most annoying thing she does is blow on your hair. Like when she does that, I'm like, all right, you need to die.
No, it's the Chinese, Japanese, dirty look at these.
Yes.
As soon as that happens, I'm like, where are we? What is this movie?
That did not age well. It did not.
It is unnerving. I don't know. It's kind of on par for her and her fucking Confederate flag ass patch, but yeah.
That's true. That's true.
We're not supposed to admire them. We're not supposed to look to them for a model of how to behave.
It's working. But once Austin said the thing about like it makes you look at what it might actually feel like to be cat. Yeah, it's real and how. What else would people like that be talking about and saying to you if they were toying, like a cat playing with a mouse? You're gonna just like. You're not just in a cage and they're talking about business. You're in a cage and they're fucking with you in that cage. And it's just, it's so uncomfortable. But I get it.
Yeah.
And it's not in service of anything greater. It's not in service of a like ideological project. It's not for any personal profit.
Right. It's like the strangers.
They're just really mean and stupid.
I mean, because this is very heavily inspired by the Manson family. Didn't they have some motive or something, right?
They did. Theirs was ideological. I mean,
well, but
right.
I mean, yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
it was based on there's a coming race war, but then now it seems like it was all a CIA op. Maybe that's a giant question. But the Manson family, I had a version of this history segment I was going to do where I was going to like center us in the 70s and the golden age of the serial killer, because you had all these things happening over a 10-year period with the Manson family, with the Zodiac, with Son of Sam, and all of that. And this was just like an extraordinarily violent time in America. And, you know, you can do some psychoanalyzing that it's like in reaction to Vietnam, which is happening at the same time. And now this movie is kind of being like a retro version of movies in the 60s, like Bonnie and Clyde, that were like taking a look at our violent culture. But this time we're doing it from the lens of the war on terror of the early 2000s, and the violence is ramping back up again. What do we do with people in the world who are just unhinged evil, not because they have any reason other than they're just following what they want to do?
And they're feeding off of each other's frenzy and the worst character traits in each of them to remain, they fit nowhere else. So I have to match this person's taste for violence. I can never undermine it unless I become suspect. I do feel the whole time that Otis is raising I see chill in baby and daddy. I see zero chill in fucking mama. I'm glad she wasn't in this movie much. Jeez, I'm curious what was she like in the first one, because she makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, she does a good job of that in House of a Thousand Corpses too. So
it's also incesty. I need her to calm down. Calm down.
You need to calm down. Taylor Swift said that once.
She should be in that movie.
She should be in that movie. William Forsythe as the sheriff emerges from a car. This police raid that's about to happen on this compound. The people inside, they're asleep. They're spooning with their corpses. They don't know what's coming down on them. But yeah, William Forsythe as Sheriff Wydell. And he's Lacey said it already. He's the Dennis Hopper character from Texas Chainsaw 2, where he's like this avenging angel who like gives himself speeches by himself. He's like, I am a servant of the Lord God, but I'm also the devil.
Red flag. I mean, anytime you're doing the Lord's work and you've decided that that's what you're doing. Okay.
And I like this performance. I think I wish it were a little wilder.
I think it ramps up.
Yeah.
I like the arc.
And very much, this is like by the end of the movie, as he's torturing these people, I'd say what when he kills Mother Firefly, I would say that is a worse thing. That's worse than anything that the killers do, because he is a police officer and he's just executing a prisoner
through the vagina.
I don't think he does it through the vagina. I think he just says that later. But I watched that scene to look.
I know.
And it seems like he stabs her in the stomach.
I know what it seems like, Matt.
yeah.
But the implied...
Yeah. I think I might be with Lacey on this one, because it's such a sexually charged scene,
Yes.
but you don't...
Oh, certainly, but
Yeah.
I don't think he literally does it, but...
You saw how much blood was in the crotch of that blonde from the beginning? People are fucking crotches hard in this movie.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, fine. Yeah, and in film semiotics, stabbing is always...
Yes, Matt. You and your dick
suggests penetration.
He loves that.
Yeah, right away, there's just so much jerky handheld camera and a ton of close-ups. There's so many close-ups. And as the movie goes along, this relaxes and the cinematography becomes a little more normal. I think that's another reason I start to like the movie more as it goes along.
But now knowing it's a sequel, and I feel like a fucking idiot for not watching the first one, I get why it's like that. They are like, hey, these are your guys. Hey, look, this is a family. Like, let's get up close. It's that baby you like. It's that Otis you like. I think it's kind of like it feels like like fun. Kind of like, I don't know what it reminds me of. I guess it reminds me of a Western, but it's like introducing your old favorites. It's Crazy Lady and Crazy Mama.
Close-ups of the cops too. It's disorienting. You have no bearing geographically, but yeah, just
Neither do they.
They find out the cops are here, and so they engage in a big shootout. So what do we think of this opening sequence?
it's definitely sets a tone. This is just tricky because knowing where it goes, again, I feel like I'd appreciate this more. I like anything in any movie that's got like a plan and like a back escape and like has their house rigged because they know the law will be coming one day. I like all that. I like how prepared they are. That's all working for me.
I love that. I like this. This might be my favorite line in the movie. The cops start attacking. They all get on their armor and stuff. And baby says to mama, she's like, "Mama, what's the matter?" And it's like, well, what do you think's the matter? But what the mama says is, "I keep remembering good times, like when you was a fucking baby." I like when you was a fucking baby.
It is good.
Times were simpler.
So they're all like saying "I love you" to each other. This is very sweet. There's a fourth brother, I guess, who dies. Who is this fourth brother?
Tyler Mane, that guy who plays Michael Myers in the Halloween movies.
Okay.
He's very
he
quick.
dies in the first one?
No, he dies in Devil's
here.
Rejects.
Oh.
Yeah. It's very quick. You see his face, the camera like swoops across, and you're like, hey, that's Tyler Mane. I think he has like one line of dialogue, but
okay.
Yeah.
But he plays Rufus T. Firefly. Mm-hmm. And I've seen Duck Soup many times, but I didn't pick. I was just like, oh, that name sounds familiar, but I didn't clock that it's a Marx Brothers thing until they put Groucho Marx on screen. And I was like, I'm suspecting there's some sort of connect.
You were getting aggravated. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who the ha? What the ha?
Yeah, this is when I realized this isn't a horror movie. This is more like a Western. This is a shoot 'em up. And
except for they do kick the cage of one of the people who are in the cage on their way out, like just to fuck you, just
one
like,
last fuck you, just
right. You're about to get found. Fuck you.
And where this goes is the Fireflies successfully kill a couple cops. The cops are struggling to get them because they're wearing heavy armor. I believe Kane Hodder is one of these cops. He's the guy who played Jason 4 times.
Yeah, he's he's the guy with the gas mask on. You see him really quick as well. 2 quick cameos.
No hockey mask, so I didn't recognize him.
Right.
But Baby and Otis escape. The mother gets arrested. The other guy is dead. Oh, and they're wondering like, wait, where's Tiny? He should be here for this great moment.
Keep that in your head.
Yes, and I will admit I totally forgot about Tiny, but I should
not.
never have forgotten about Tiny. And then William Forsythe is like about to arrest the mom, and she's like, you're not going to take me alive. She's about to shoot herself, but the gun is empty. Damn it.
Dang it.
So then we have these opening credits, and in montage we see the mom being taken away to jail, Baby and Otis going on the run, making their way through the sewers, and
here comes Matt's mom.
My mom. See, they need to steal a car, so you see how crafty they are because she just lays down on the ground.
But
like
also, just punch her. You punch the other lady with the kid. Oh no! See, that's how you know that Captain Spaulding is less severe than the brother. She plays dead, lures the lady over, the brother fucking stabs her to death, and then they take the car. Where Captain Spaulding gets the same job done by just clocking her, does not touch the kid. I was almost out of here. I announced it to the room. If they do something to this kid, I am fucking out. But they didn't.
Man.
She was going to quit the podcast.
I was going to quit.
I was.
That would have been all my fault too. No, I can't have this on my conscience.
I would have showed up.
But no, he didn't. He's a sweetheart.
No,
I see that too. Yeah, and there's like a thing with like things becoming more extreme with each generation.
Well, because think of what Otis would have had to do to survive in that fucking house. All I can think about is what was it like to be kids here? Your mom is a crazed sex maniac. Your dad looks like that, and you would have to be outdoing each other. You would have to be competing for the most violent one. You would be fucked in a brother and sister relationship. You have no choice.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Yeah, that's exactly why Otis is the way he is. Now that you mention it and put it in that perspective, yeah, I think that's exactly why he is the craziest
being the male,
one.
He's going to bear more from his psychotic dad than, and he's going to be sexualized by his mom. They're just touching everybody in this fucking family.
He can't weaponize his sexuality like his sister can.
No, well, that's why he has to sleep and fuck dead things. He's probably sick of being touched. He's probably sick of the sexuality that is constantly running rampant in his house. It no longer means anything. I just need to fuck dead shit now.
Just needs to feel
something.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wow. Man, this movie's been out for 20 something years and you're giving me just like these different, this is why I love talking about movies. You're giving me completely different perspectives to look at this movie at.
That's
astute. That is astute. I like that.
That's my favorite compliment.
That's her favorite word.
Yeah.
Yes.
That and moxie. Don't you fucking tell me I have moxie or I'll be your best friend.
Only if they add kid. You got moxie.
Kid. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
the news, it's on the news, and they're like, and what is the worst crime since Jack the Ripper went crazy in London? It's the House of 1,000 Corpses. And inside this house.
That's the ranch of a baker's dozen.
I didn't know that. I wrote in my notes. They found the House of 1,000 Corpses.
We need to get a hat because look, he has a Frightmare's hat, and I'm jealous of that hat.
Okay, Lacey.
I'm sorry.
We'll get a hat.
Okay, just one. We'll share it.
Does it have to say load-bearing beams?
No, it has to say Frightmares.
Oh, yeah. So absolutely, we can get a Frightmare's hat. Hats just look weird on my head. My head is stupid.
Your head is large.
They find a scrapbook because this woman scrapbooks with Captain Spaulding in it and Sheriff Wydell. What is his first name? The sheriff?
John Quincy Wydell.
John
Ooh.
Quincy Wydell. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the 6th president. So he finds a picture of Captain Spaulding and he's like, motherfucker, it's that guy.
I know this mother.
Captain Spaulding, Lacey. Captain Spaulding, aka Cutter,
brush your teeth,
is
man.
played by Sid Haig. Can you tell me about Captain Spaulding?
Now, the actor in general, I just love him. I just love his whole look. I want him to be happy with me.
You told me this last night while you were angry, but you were like, but I want to please the dad.
I want to please him so bad, but I need him to brush those teeth. And if he's got the fucking, fake teeth that he wears in his commercial, just wear them all the time, daddy. You're fucking, I get it, but ew. And like lose the sexual side of you. I don't like what you're saying to this lady in your dream. I don't like what you're saying to the lady that lays next to you in real life. Remove all the sex, daddy. And then you're my best friend. Okay. What did you ask me?
Just what's his deal?
He's a clown. He's clowning.
He's a clown. So what is his job, Austin?
Well, in House of 1,000 Corpses, it's to take people around his museum of, what do you want to call it? Oddities. There we go.
Novelties, yes.
And then, lead them down to down the path to, I guess, murder them. So that's his job in
How does he make money
movie.
doing that?
They have money on them. You take their valuables, you sell them on eBay.
No repeat business, though.
Yeah, no, the repeat business is not there, but it's one of those places you're probably only going to go to once because it's off the beaten path. It's on that road that connects the 2 main roads. So that's what he does in that movie. In this movie, it really doesn't go into much of what he does because they're on the run basically from the get-go. So I'm assuming he probably still has the House of 1,000 Corpses because you see the commercial for it at the beginning.
And then the commercial is for that house?
I'm pretty well. It's also he also has like chicken that he sells there, and it's like a gas station. It's like a whole little thing. Yeah, it's like a shop as well where he works on where he has someone to work on cars. It's a whole little, not like a
little town.
Yeah, it's like a whole little thing.
Ecosystem.
So I'm assuming he's still doing that, but yeah, it's not really explicitly explained in The Devil's Rejects. So
He wakes up next to this very large lady who's very horny, and he's like, damn, woman, stop being so horny.
And he's got skid marks on the outside. Why? Why are they outside?
There's a very funny cut where he gets up to go pee, and he starts to pee, and it cuts to coffee being poured in a cup. I was laughing.
Yep.
So they watch his commercial, but his commercial gets interrupted by breaking news. Like, breaking news, the worst crime since Jack the Ripper in London town. And he gets a call from his daughter. And she's like, Daddy, we're on the run. Meet me at the motel. So he's like, I gotta go.
Damn, woman.
Yeah. But the next time we see him, he's put his clown makeup on. For what reason?
No. He wakes up in it. He still has it on.
He does not have it on when he wakes
Look
up.
at him.
This is the dream where he wakes up with clown makeup on, but then when he wakes up in real life, he does not have clown makeup on. It's not true. Oh, it's true. Austin?
Yeah, he has it in the dream. If it's on when he wakes up, it's very, 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 very faded. But I'm pretty sure his face is clean until he's seen again.
He realized, sure. Even though he's on the run now, I got to put my clown makeup back on.
Takes it off again. Well,
so they can identify me.
Fine.
We check in on this we can only call like a resort ghost sex town.
I want to go there so bad. I fucking love this place.
Run by Ken Foray from Dawn of the Dead. And I was just so happy. He's also in Lords of Salem. I was just so like, oh, it's so nice that Rob Zombie finds these old legends. And also Michael Berryman from Hills Have Eyes. He's the Mercury in Hills Have Eyes. The big guy, the most famous looking guy from Hills Have Eyes.
That's his sidekick?
Yes.
Okay, I knew he looked very familiar.
Yes. And he's in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest too, which Austin just watched.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah. So Ken Foray, he's like running this little saloon, this sex saloon, and one of his sex workers, played by E.G. Daly, who is of course Tommy Pickles, and also Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She's working as a sex worker named Candy, and she explains, I'm not making enough money, but I was thinking of doing maybe a Star Wars thing. And Ken Foray is like, I don't know, that makes me nervous. I thought it was funny that he said that makes me nervous, this Star Wars thing. But Captain Spaulding calls up. We realize he and Ken Foray plays Charlie. Charlie and Captain Spaulding are old friends, and they're going to work together. Yes.
Would we understand if we had watched House of a Thousand Corpses where this relationship comes from, or is this a new relationship for this movie?
This is a new relationship for this movie because Ken Foray is not a part of House of a Thousand Corpses. Yeah.
Just checking. All right.
Yep.
But they're both good actors, and you can understand from their performance. You guys are old friends.
No, thanks.
I'm not correcting you.
Whore. Yeah, no.
You're a stupid whore.
You're a stupid whore.
And then we go over to, man, this movie's throwing a lot at us. I was thinking that like when I was watching it for the first time, there's so many characters in this movie. Now we're meeting this group of traveling country musicians. I feel I'm going to have to track them the whole movie. I'm not going to. They're going to die. But for now, Banjo and Sullivan, who are like a pair of married couples, the Sullivans and the Banjos, and then also Brian Posehn, who plays their nerdy roadie.
So random of him to be in this movie.
So random.
Yes, but no, I like the kind of interjection of weird energy. Mm-hmm. He's like, the old guy's like, "Are you smoking dope?" And he's like, "No," or "Yes." Well,
not
now. But I enjoy all of these. These are all just like veteran character actors with very specific faces, and I love to see it. Mm-hmm. Baby comes over and sees Roy Sullivan, the patriarch of this little group, and she's like, "Hey, sexy, you want to fuck me?" And he's like, "What did you say?" What did she say? Yeah, I bet all the girls want to fuck you. And he's like, "Say that again."
It's like, calm down, baby. Jesus.
And then Otis comes over and he's like, "This is a stick up," and they take him into his hotel room, his motel room.
Like, you could have distracted him in a million ways. It didn't have to be like that. Give him an erection and then tell him he's gonna go.
That's what she loves doing. That's what she lives for.
Yeah.
Bait and switch, man. Get him all jazzed up, thinking he's about to get some, and no, there's a gun in your face. Psych. Well, that's a big psych.
Also have a little extra leverage on him with his wife that he just said those things and would have totally gone with her to another hotel room. And it's like he's feeling guilty and scared as soon as he gets into that hotel room.
That's true.
All the emotions.
But yeah, he's like, "I guess this young woman wants to fuck me because she saw my face."
The banjo finally paid off.
And decided I'm that attractive. In the motel room, the other people are watching a news broadcast that's like, "Satanic panic going on. There's cults everywhere. We live in a very violent time." And the woman's like, "Turn that off. It's so ridiculous." And right as she does that, then the crazy devil people invade her motel room. Mm-hmm. Thus begins a long stretch of the movie where they are held hostage in their motel room. Oh, and Brian Posehn comes in and they shoot him in the head immediately.
And then the guy throws up, and then I'm like, okay, different movie. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No. I start short fucking circuiting.
Yeah, you were really. This is it. My major criticism is the motel stuff. Like, and I'm not against. We can get to it when we get to
Let's
that.
Get
part
to
of
it.
the
Yeah,
movie.
right. I'm not prudish about this stuff. I just needed. I needed to. We'll get to it.
Captain Spaulding he's on the way to meet them, but his truck runs out of gas, so he sees a mother played by PJ Souls from Halloween, and her young son, and he's like, "Hey, I need your car." And you know what she says? She says, "Totally." No, she doesn't. She says, she's like, "Aha, you're a funny clown." And he's like, "I'm not a funny clown, you bitch." And then he punches her real hard. And then scares the shit out of the little kid, really upsetting Lacey, but he does allow the kid to live.
And then I'm like, okay, I think I can hang on. That was my
That's
line
my
in the sand.
favorite line, favorite scene when he looks at the kids. He's like, aren't we fucking funny, kid? And he's like, when I come back for you, you better have an answer, else I'm going to kill you and your whole fucking family. Like, whoa, clown. Holy shit. Take it down a notch.
The question the kid has to answer is like, what is your favorite thing about clowns, or what makes you laugh about a clown? It's like a kind of a specific question. Like, dude, your antics.
That kid's going to need therapy for the rest of his fucking life. He's now a bedwetter.
Yeah. Rest of his life.
When It, which the 2017 It, which Austin has a standee from that movie behind him. I remember when that movie came out, there was a new cycle of news stories about real clowns who have always had an issue with Stephen King. They feel like the publication of It in 1986 ruined the clown
lobby.
industry.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, wow.
Because it's like, whenever there's clowns in movies, I'm like, who ever liked a clown? But I guess it was a big thing at a certain point.
But it still is. There are clown. You clown. It's a thing. It's a profession.
But it's not like you don't look like that anymore. It's like they had to get a glow up. Now a clown is like a talented like acrobatic performer. I don't know. If we held a birthday party for a child and hired a clown, what would the reaction be?
What would the kids react? I don't fucking know those kids. I don't know.
Probably fear.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be doing something very unique. But like at the Renaissance Festival, there's a clown and she's delightful. You know, the Renaissance Festival that we've all been to.
Oh yeah,
yeah, oh yeah.
But so you incorporate other things, like she's a sword swallower, she's a pinhead. You know, different. You know, it's just another way of being a sideshow person.
Wait, what is a pinhead?
A pinhead is a person that can nail something through their bone their sinus cavity.
Oh, that one freaks me out. Oh man,
yeah, that
one
gets
gets
so much
me.
more upsetting than sword swallowing.
100%.
She can shoot milk out of her eyes.
What?
Because all of this is connected.
Can we get her on the show?
Yes. I have her card.
Just don't get me wet.
Our kid's best friend stapled a $20 bill to her chest.
Oh.
Just like this movie.
This is just like this movie.
As long as you give her 20, you can staple her. I was like, dude, just give her the money. Don't staple. He's like, yeah. Like, well, I'm not taking this kid anywhere again.
All right. That was the last time we went anywhere.
We're back at the motel, and Baby is doing her Japanese thing. And then Otis is just sitting there, and he says to Roy's like, hey, Hoss, you checking out my sister? And he's like, no, sir, I'm a married man. And thus begins a lot of torture and sexual assault. And we're all having a good time. They pull up Roy's wife. They're like, hey, get naked. And then he fondles her with his gun. Okay, you describe it.
No, I don't want anyone to describe it.
Okay.
Good podcast.
Yeah, everyone's crying. It is very upsetting. And now apparently 2 minutes were cut from this section for the theatrical release, but I think it's restored in the version we watched on Amazon Prime.
You can see a theme with this family, and you can tell it's how the children must have been abused as kids, with their parents forcing them to say things, because the brother does it and the sister does it. Tell me that I'm blah blah blah. Tell me you like it. It's just, and they both do it, and there's just something so fucking gross.
Yeah, that's my only problem with this movie is that part of the motel scene is I don't like any of that stuff done towards women, or I mean really anybody, but especially women, because I feel like it's done too much to women in movies, especially horror movies. So that's like, it's my same problem. Sorry, side tangent. It's my same problem with the Halloween director's cut that Rob Zombie put out for DVD and Blu-ray. The theatrical cut has Michael Myers escaping and murdering 7 or 8 people in the most gory way. He replaces that scene, takes that scene out, and includes a rape scene for and I'm like, why are we removing the best part of the movie with something that I never want to see ever? So he has a weird thing with kind of rapey moments, and I'm just like, let's just not put those in there, because this movie would have been fine without all of that. So that's my biggest problem with this movie.
I know that what he would say is like, this is supposed to be upsetting, this is supposed to be dark, these are very bad people, and I'm letting you know how bad they are. And in this hypothetical thing he says to me, I'd be like, yeah, I agree. I don't know this is not enjoyable to watch, but I get that the point is for you to be very, very upset and for you to have no reason to have any sympathy with the bad guys in this, with the main characters of the movie, to see how totally depraved they are.
And to be unsettled for the rest of the time. This scene is doing a lot of the work for the rest of the movie because you don't know.
Right.
It will go anywhere. Is it going to go somewhere again where I'm,
yeah, because it puts that out there. It puts it out there like, hey, we've done this once. It's entirely possible we'll do this again. I mean, thank God they don't. Right. But yeah, once you put that out there, it makes you worry for the rest of the runtime. Like, exactly. Are we going to go back into this territory again? Because I really, really just don't want to.
And I think a big part of it is because they do it in 3 or 4 scenes. It's not one. Right. We are now. We're gonna take your husbands and they're going to walk and it's going to be a very dramatic way that I'm going to kill them now, which is fucking prolonged as shit. That whole beating them thing and torturing and all that. And then yet another scene. Well, meanwhile, back at the fucking hotel, baby is torturing the women who are going to be killed. Like, let's just get on with it. It's a lot of the movie for it to not be any of the movie after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
it's like,
I don't know. I've mixed feelings on it.
Yeah. It's a rough scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, that's sort of my big criticism of the movie. And I'm not somebody who thinks you can't show stuff like this on screen. You absolutely can. Can it be in a fun movie? I don't know. Because this,
the
rest of this movie seems like it should be fun. I should be having fun with how over the top and pulpy this all is.
Yeah.
But anyway, this all happens and baby starts blowing on people's hair. And I'm like, that's the worst thing anybody does in this movie.
Stop blowing on it.
Otis takes these 2 men out on a mission when he's done with playing with them. And then we go see Sheriff Wydell going to visit Mother Firefly behind bars.
Now, I didn't know that it wasn't confirmed for him, or he seems to not know that these are the people that killed his brother until she whips out the pictures and then he gets enraged. So maybe I just didn't understand. Like, no, he sought them out because of this and now he's seeing it and that's why he's getting re-pissed.
Right. Yeah. He knew this going into it and seeing it just reaffirms that, like, yeah, this is exactly why I'm here. And to rub this in, she's basically rubbing it in his face that, because she's the one, Mother Firefly is the one who killed his brother in House of a Thousand Corpses. So that scene is really powerful. And that's why he's so pissed, because he knows that she's the one who killed his brother.
And he's of so little consequence to her that he's in a scrapbook that hasn't been put together yet. That it's like, I've been meaning to get around to this. It was a year ago. What are you doing with your downtime? And she rubs it in that, like, I just hadn't gotten around to it.
Yep.
Here he is.
Oh, I like she opens the scrapbook and she sees her daughter. She's like, isn't she an angel? But he's like, I'm going to kill your little angel unless you tell me where they are, and then I'll bring them in alive. Now the whole time she's like the Joker. You can beat her up and she just laughs. I enjoy the violence against me. Ha 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 ha. And it drives you mad. What do you do with this kind of evil? How can the law even react? Maybe the law can't react. Maybe you have to go above the law.
And he certainly does with that, and gets very, very unhinged by the end, I would say.
Well, and he, like, in the first interaction between them, he starts beating her up.
Right.
That's why, I definitely think it is pointedly the cop, the arm of the law, which is supposed to represent, like, law and order in this deteriorating world, is violating, like, the most basic ideas we have about justice and how law enforcement officers, officers of the court, etc., are supposed to behave.
Right,
you can just start beating up prisoners.
You're not supposed to up the ante. You're not supposed to out terrorize the terrorist. You're supposed to bring it down or keep it level.
Right.
And I think Rob Zombie is trying to play with your sympathies here, because presumably you're rooting for him. You're rooting for William Forsythe.
It'd be so hard to like the whole time.
But he's doing things like beating up a woman. Now it's an evil woman, but beating up a prisoner. Yeah, Otis has the 2 men. He's like, we're going to get some guns. Some guns I buried a few years ago. Then what? Well, there ain't no what. That's the end of the road. And I love the guy's like, mister, you don't mean to kill us or nothing. And he's like, I mean, listen, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
You guys are
And
being
he like
annoying.
the younger one picks up a log and like hits him on the head. There's several opportunities where these dumb people could get away, and
They're
just
scared,
don't.
Matt. They're not dumb. They just don't do this all the time.
No, here's what I would do. I would no, I know. Oh, I would be terrible. I'd be so dumb. I'd be pissing and shitting myself.
I know. There'd be so much pee and poo.
Yeah. And Otis, Bill Moseley, he stabs the younger one is Adam, stabs him in the neck, and he's like, "You brought this on yourself. I was going to take it easy on you, but
No.
now you're going to bleed to
No,
death."
he doesn't. The gun goes off. He gets shot in the neck.
Oh, shoots him in the neck. Yes. What?
Yeah.
Fucking
Yes,
hack.
yes. Okay, you explain.
You
then,
watched
Lacey.
it twice.
You don't want to explain anything. You explain.
No, I don't want to.
But then, crucially, he goes over to Roy, and he's like, and Roy is dying or whatever, and he's like, "I want you to pray to your God to save me." And Roy is like, "God, please bless the bunnies and the flowers." And
It's like, that man doesn't pray. He's
Nope.
just doing this for you. That's not, as an ex-religious person, that is not how you pray.
Correct.
That's how
yeah.
you pretend to pray.
And so what Otis says is, "No, it's not going to work. I am the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's work."
It's like you just wanted to say your little thing. Okay, Jules.
Yeah.
And then a vengeance upon you. Yeah, I got it. Say your fucking piece, man.
So this is again the movie hammering home. These are evil fucking people. They have no morals at all.
And there's a little bit of hope. Like, I mean, you're just with the ladies. Maybe you can take it down a fucking notch. But no, one of them needs to pee, and because baby doesn't need to let you do anything, she says, "Well, what are you going to do for me?" And, "Well, what do you want?" "I want you to slap her as hard as you can." And at this point, I'm like, just pee. Just pee. You're naked from the waist down. Just pee. What are you doing? Why are you? Okay, I guess I'll take you up on that. And slaps her good twice. Again, I don't get it. Like, just pee. But then I realized, oh, you're trying to escape. Okay, you weren't going to go pee. I'm stupid. I realized it. Anyway, all right. So
Very astute.
fuck off. All right. So she gets to get up and get bathroom privileges, and immediately breaks the window. I mean, she's doing a good job in terms of escaping, but it's a little loud. So she goes for the bathroom, and I think that's when she's distracted enough for the older lady to get the gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then baby's like,
hate you.
You can't shoot me. You can't shoot me, lady. I never did nothing to you." And
I
then
hardly did anything.
then throws a knife into her
Well,
fist,
and
whatever this is
Her
called.
heart.
the gun's not loaded too. She's like, "It's
Right.
just for effect." You're like, "God damn, there's nothing in the gun, son of a
Nothing
bitch."
at all.
You already
Yeah,
shot
because
someone to death.
Baby's
so
like,
Right.
"Go ahead and shoot me." In fact, and she pulls down her pants, "Shoot me in the ass." And she pulls the trigger and nothing happens. She's like, "See, it's all mind powers. This is just like Severance and Lumen. We're all about how we can control you by keeping you confused."
Except for that they killed someone with a gun only like fucking 20 minutes ago.
That is
That's
true, yeah. Different
it's a little
gun.
different. Little different. And then Wendy runs out of the hotel room and runs right outside into Captain Spaulding, the clown who has arrived at the hotel. And then his face morphs into Groucho Marx's. And at this point, I was like, what
What?
the fuck is happening? So we dive into the Marx Brothers now.
And someone from Film Talk joins the
Yes.
movie.
Can we get a film talk guy in here to explain to us movies? And this guy they have come in to explain the history of the Marx Brothers. And what I love is how annoyed the cops are with him.
Like, we just need you to give me this piece of paper. I don't need all the other shit, man. I
Because
don't.
he's just rattling off Marx Brothers trivia and then stuff not related to the Marx Brothers. Groucho Marx was in an Otto Preminger movie. Otto Preminger once directed whatever. But yeah, all the aliases that everybody is using are from Marx Brothers movies. Captain Spaulding is from Animal Crackers. Rufus D. Firefly is from Duck Soup. And one of the cops is like, "I think we should go talk to this Groucho Marx."
I get that we understand now that, okay, these are all, but we don't understand why. There's never an explanation as to what's the
So why?
importance.
So why is it?
I know he's just a big fan of Groucho Marx, and he's also a fan of the Munsters. If you notice, that might have been House of a Thousand Corpses. It was either in House of a Thousand or Devil's Rejects. There's a clip of the Munsters, but yeah, it's not overly explained in the movie. And I don't know, besides him just being a fan of his work and stuff like that. I think he just
And
did it
all
because, like homage for some weird reason.
I guess, but you think it's going to lead to something, and all it actually leads to is that he figures out an accomplice of his based on the fact that he's also name something.
Right, yeah.
The guy that owns the slut town is
Yeah.
also a Marx Brothers.
But
name.
if you're looking for like a thematic connection,
I'm not.
my guess would be the word people used to describe the Marx Brothers was anarchic. They were not in their comedy. They were not bound. They played characters who were not bound by rule. They were moving in polite society circles, but not following the rules, and thus the dowager lady always gets very upset. Oh boy! So maybe it's that. It's
Okay.
like, we don't have to follow your rules.
Okay.
But yeah, they're like, why don't we go?
And aren't there 3 of them?
The classic lineup has 3, but there was
There used to be 4 and 1 died.
there was used to be 4, and then people were like, that 4th one doesn't seem to do anything. Zeppo, and then there was actually even a 5th one, Gummo, who's even less well known.
So mom and dad,
There you
bye-bye.
go,
I mean,
Lisa.
mom and brother.
Making connections here. I love this.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, babe.
Yeah, can we go talk to Groucho Marx? You idiot, he died a few years ago. And then one of them's like, yeah, he died the same day Elvis died or whatever.
Gyrating. Don't you ever say nothing about
And the
Elvis
film guy
Aaron
gets very
Press.
upset that Elvis stole Groucho's thunder. So then Sheriff Lydell, he's like, don't you insult the king. Now get this Hollywood pussy out of here.
So you see, Matt, it's not just about criminals. This guy's violent with whoever aggravates him.
Mm-hmm.
And then just for good measure, he says, and fuck Groucho. It's kind of funny.
It's good stuff.
He needs a nap.
He needs a Snickers. He's not himself.
Yes. Yes.
Sheriff, you're not yourself when you're hungry. You say things like, fuck Groucho. Otis returns to the motel and he's now wearing Adam's face skin. He's like, I'm crazy. Now you have to wear it, bitch. And puts it on top of it.
Which it's just a little love note to TCM2 and to Leatherface. That's the only fucking purpose. Because I don't take this guy as someone who takes a lot of time to skin. The only skinner he likes is Leonard. But it's just, I don't know. And then they leave her alive. Who knows what they did to her? They hang her on a fucking hook. Also, original
Halloween.
I was thinking of Texas Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, the original. But okay, so the fucking maid or housekeeper finds her. She's completely freaked out and doesn't know to take the thing off of her face. So it's just a chase scene, which I think is just to give you a Pet Cemetery moment, I guess. Because why else hit her with the fucking
Pet Cemetery?
Well, she gets hit with the 18-wheeler
Yeah.
in the vast open highway. I mean, I assume that's the only reason. Why else even have that scene?
It's like, well, Texas Chainsaw famously ends with the girl running out into the street
And getting saved.
and getting saved. So this is an inversion of that.
Yeah.
Fine. I think she'd had enough, though.
And she really gets splattered, just squished.
I've never seen quite a splatter. A rose, such a clatter. Did that
A
body.
rose, such a glitter.
Rose such a splatter
Yeah.
into goo. You've not seen goo like this.
And then still some of her body was there, so it's like anyway.
Yeah.
And then like the back and just the racist shit with the fucking housekeeper now, and I think it's all just to show you like this cop's not nice. This world isn't nice.
Well, no. The cops are being kind of they're like, I don't understand this Mexican nonsense, but then
He speaks
the
Spanish.
sheriff goes up and speaks Spanish to her and then says some like nice things to her. So see, he is kind of a nice guy, you see.
Don't go against what I say.
Sorry.
Okay.
But he's like, I found the perfect men to help me on my quest to arrest these guys. I got Danny Trejo and Diamond
used him.
Dallas Page.
Diamond Dallas.
DDP, who looks so much like The Undertaker. It was confusing.
Yes, he does.
A much more famous wrestler. But he's very imposing here. And DDP towers over Danny Trejo, who is himself a scary man.
Right. Yeah.
But
He always plays lovable scary though. Yeah.
well, later
It's the shape of his head.
they call up the sheriff has like a dream where he goes to see his brother George, and he's like, my brother, I have to tell you, avenge me, kill them. And he's like, well, I was already going to do that, but okay, now I'm going to take it even more seriously. And he gets a call from Danny Trejo saying, we have a lead. Charlie, you know that sex ghost town? Yeah, he's an associate and we're going to go make stuff happen. Okay, good.
Okay.
And then we have the scene where he goes back to Mother Firefly in prison and just like gives her a speech about how like I'm the devil's arm of the Lord of the Justice or whatever, and just stabs her repeatedly.
No, he does not. Sabri. One, he just right in the vagina, then up, and then turns,
Okay, one
giving her a
stab,
gasm,
not repeated.
and then a death. It is. this mom thinks a lot of herself.
Yeah.
She
What do
finds
you mean?
she finds herself very attractive and does not think men can resist her. She's a little bit past her day, but this constant like tongue licking her teeth and licking the lips. It's like she's doing an impression of sexy. She also signals someone who is abused, obviously and clearly sexually abused, because she's like what a kid thinks is sexy. She's like stuck. She's
You don't find her sexy?
no, it's not working for me. No.
And she's even weirdly rougher in House of a Thousand Corpses.
I imagined, yes.
Yeah. She's pretty gritty in that one, so.
And Austin, you said she killed she killed his brother. So it makes sense that he has this vision of his brother, and then he goes to kill her. And it's like, all right, the law here is not going to apply. I'm no longer a cop. I am a brother.
And I don't disagree. If they are in your sight, kill them. Kill them dead. Don't fucking give them a trial.
Okay, but the world is worse if cops are just killing.
I get it.
Like that creates way more.
But baby's hot. The brother can clean up. I'm just saying, fucking jurors are swayed by good-looking people.
Yeah, he just has to take a shower, maybe run a comb through his hair and his beard, brush your teeth, throw on some cologne.
Yes, I'm yelling, take a bath. I yelled it so many times at this movie.
She did. I was there. I'm just saying. I know I'm not. I know y'all agree with me. It's just the world is worse if cops just illegally kill people than if serial killers are allowed to run free. Like it is more dangerous. The former is more dangerous than the latter. But we go back to that resort town where Cutter drives his family up and Charlie comes out and he does, this is almost literally the Lando Calrissian thing where he's like, you got a lot of nerve to show your face. And he's like, who, me? And he's like, yeah, put your hands up. I'm going to murder you or something, and then squirts him with the water gun. And then they just start laughing so loud and hugging and stuff.
It's such a relief because it's the first time you're seeing these three characters in a place where they make sense. You're just like, okay, there is a world for you. I don't know what you're implying about sex workers and black men, but you at least
wait, what? In what?
That this is the setting. This is where they can find their people because these other people are sinners as well and damned as well.
I'm not saying it's the only place. It's just these specific people. They're here.
Okay. That's supposed to be their like safe place to go.
Yeah.
Where they think that the law can't harm them in any way, and then of course that gets flipped in about 20 or 30 minutes of them being there, or however long they're there. They're not there very long before shit hits the fan.
I assumed this would be the rest of them. I assumed it would be like From Dusk Till Dawn. Like now we arrive at this very weird sort of parallel reality strip club. But no. But I realized Charlie, Ken Foray, first like Lando Calrissian and Han Solo. It's like, you got a lot of nerve showing up here. Haha, just kidding, I'm your friend. But then I'm going to betray you. But I'm going to be reluctant about betraying you, and I'm going to help you in the end.
Because he's unnerved by, I think anyone in the presence of Captain Spaulding knows they need to meet it or be defeated. Like, you have to stay cool to him and keep his interest, or you will just die. He's a person that will make you die.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have to.
He wasn't excited about him coming. You saw the phone call that they had. He was like, fuck. I have to I'm going to need a lot of Coke. Tommy Pickles' mom. I'm going to also need a bunch of pussy.
Not Tommy Pickles' mom, Tommy Pickles. But yes,
Tommy Pickles.
No, it's a good point. Yes,
little baby ass down here.
Yes, all bullies are very exhausted that they have to be bullies around other bullies. Like, God, it's just so much.
This is going to be expensive. You better fucking fry me chicken. I'll go get the chicken, but you're going to make it.
I love this though. I love he's like, all right, well, let's get inside and get to fucking. No sense standing around and together they say, slow foot roosters in a fuck farm. I will never not laugh when two people say a non-famous saying together.
Yeah.
Like you and your dad saying you're a fool, Sinclair.
Yes. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Okay. The next day. Goodness. The sheriff runs into Charlie and he's like, come over here, Charlie. Hey, you got those fireflies? You keep them there at your place because we're coming to get them tonight. And if you don't do it, I'll shoot you down.
I'll squish your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll do it then.
And he tells Danny Trejo and DDP, he's like, listen, keep them alive just long enough so I can piss on them. And Danny Trejo's like, listen, Sheriff, you're using a bazooka to exterminate roaches. To exterminate roaches, you have to think like a roach to kill a roach. Lacey's always saying this when there's a roach in our house. She says,
She's like, everybody.
what does the
get
roach
down.
want? I'm like, what does the roach want?
The bottom of a refrigerator?
Yeah,
I don't fucking
it's
know.
a hard thing to answer.
Everyone acts like the bottom of our refrigerator.
So
Finally, baby takes a bath.
finally, yes.
Yes.
And I start to feel a little bad for her. Like, oh, she was just taking a bath. She wasn't doing anything evil. Maybe she was. We just
You don't have
see
to
it.
be medieval. Medieval.
No, hold on a second.
She has it's fair. She has done enough bad stuff. But like Charlie and Cutter, they're snorting coke together. I can't say Cutter without sounding
saying it like
Cutter.
that. Okay.
Cutter.
They're snorting coke together, and then Charlie goes to the bathroom. He's like, "I'm going to leave you alone now, no reason." And then he leaves, and then the sheriff comes in, and he's like, "Here I am, motherfucker." And then meanwhile, DDP and Danny Trejo come in, and they take the other kids, they take Baby and Otis hostage as well.
I do wish they'd shoot them in their limbs a few more times. At least like you don't have to kill them, just make them not mobile.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're planning on torturing them. You immobilize them right away.
Right.
Shoot them in the legs.
Yep.
But it's
Do
like, but
something.
later on, he gets some kind of rise out of chasing her around, and it's like you're not as fast or as smart as her, and you brought her to her fucking turf, you idiot. This is like wanting to torture the guys from TCM2 by bringing them to their underground lair. Who's gonna fucking know how to get around in here better than us?
Exactly. The people that live there
Stupid.
on a day-to-day basis.
To that point, Cutter says to him, like, "You're going to kill me. You need to just kill me and make sure I'm actually dead. Because
Right.
if not, we
The whole
always
thing.
we always seem to win. It seems like We always find a way."
Foreshadowing.
So he takes the three fireflies away in his cop car, and Charlie's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but business is business." So they go back to their compound, to the Firefly Ranch, and he has them all tied up in chairs, does Sheriff Wydell, and he gives them a speech about how he's from a long line of devil slayers.
As soon as the speech comes, you're like, nope, they're alive. They're fucking getting out of this one. This guy can't shut up.
That's the thing. And he's like, I tried to walk the path of righteousness, but I tried to walk the line, but I realized there is no line. Guys, this is the inevitable conclusion of American empire and carnage.
Oh, thank you.
We're going into the Middle East to destroy it but in doing so, we just make things worse. We exist in an eternal feedback loop with violence. We cause the violent people to escalate, and then we have to escalate in response. So Wydell, he's like, I'm going to staple photos of your victims onto you. And then he literally crucifies Otis, drives nails through his hands. And like, that's very deliberate imagery from Rob Zombie.
Noticed Baby's pants are around her legs. What the fuck?
No, that's you're looking at a stool with
Pants on it?
no, I don't think those are pants. Sorry, Austin.
Oh, it's a stool full of pictures. It looks like blue jeans down
Let's try
around her.
putting our slideshow up.
Sorry. Yeah. Usually when we've had a slideshow this whole time, and usually though when we do that, it makes the guest lag. So that's why we didn't do it. But
No, it does. It does. This screenshot I have looks like she has her pants pulled down, but no, there's a stool in front of her with I think stack of photos on it.
Oh my God.
But yeah. So he's like the photos of their dead mom. He's like, look, I killed your mom. Like, you didn't kill mama. He's like, no, I swear I did. I totally did. So he sets the house on fire, and then he sets Baby free because he's like, he also is just totally demented and is just like, I want to play with my prey like you guys do it.
But why her? Because she's the most like the mom?
Why her? Yeah.
It has to be that, right? It has to be that she's her mom's angel.
Maybe
That's what he said.
well, yeah, because maybe that, but maybe she will put up the least amount of struggle, at least amount of fight. Maybe.
No, you're right. He can overpower her. He thinks.
And also the patriarchy.
Well, he did
That
tell the
too.
mom, like, I'm going to fuck your angel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's true. Yeah.
Isn't she an angel? But she makes it into a barn, and Charlie is there. He's like, hey, I'm sorry I betrayed you, but now I'm unbetraying you. I'm going to help you. Here, get in this car. But no, the sheriff is there with an axe, and he kills Charlie, and then he is chasing baby with the axe, and then all of a sudden Tiny from the beginning of the movie returns, and I was like, oh right, that's how the movie started. Now here he is, he just snaps the sheriff's neck, and that's that. And she's like, Daddy and my brother, I forgot his name, are inside, go get him. So they do, and they're all fine. And they get into a car and they leave Tiny behind for whatever reason. They're like, we'll miss you, but we'll come back for you, maybe.
Probably.
Okay, and so now Lacey keeps getting madder with every scene. She's like, why won't this movie end? This is a long movie. I feel like this movie shouldn't be longer than 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's almost 2 hours. It's a bit long.
I think like horror movies like really have to earn it if you want to go above 90 minutes.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly with that. Yeah.
But Freebird starts playing, and like this whole movie has been full of expensive music.
And I'm like, this is Rob Zombie using his fucking industry connections. These are a lot of expensive songs, and if you're gonna get the rights to fucking Freebird, I'm like, just settle in. This is gonna be a 7-minute scene. They're not gonna not use the whole goddamn song.
Yes,
especially because the crescendo thing part's so good. So we're just gonna watch this car drive.
But you
for
know what my
6.5
takeaway was?
Fucking minutes. What?
Money well spent. It's a good song.
It is a good song.
It's like, hey, that's a good song. But they're like driving cross country with this song playing, and it's intercut with video footage, like home video footage of them being happy together, a wholesome family. And you know the song "I'm as free as a bird, this bird you cannot tame."
It's just the three of them, though. It's them dreaming about it. It's not what's already happened. These are the only three left alive, so we can't see the mom and the other brother. That wouldn't make sense. We're supposed to think they're about to be okay.
Okay. I mean, the effect is the same of having to literally look at these monsters as still a family who love each other, and look how sweet they are together. But they're as free as a bird, this bird you cannot tame. They have rejected conventional morality, rejected your bourgeois values, and you'll never stop us. Never. Oh shit, a police blockade. And so, knowing they're going to die, they take out their guns. And they haul ass, and they take out some cops.
It's effective.
And I think it's cool as hell. I love this ending.
Yeah, I like the ending.
And plenty of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, the Wild Bunch, Bonnie and Clyde. They end this way.
Thelma and Louise.
Well, that doesn't end with them shooting cops, though.
Yeah,
right?
but they end on their own terms by killing themselves.
Yeah.
To get away from the thing that they're not wanting to run into.
So I guess Butch and Sundance do that too.
Were you more happy with the ending because you liked the ending, or because the movie was just done and over with and you didn't have to do this anymore?
No, I like that they were all dead. I was going to be pissed if they were still alive. I needed that. Felt like the right ending to me.
Boy, you're really going to hate that there's a sequel to this movie where they're not all dead.
What the fuck?
Free from Hell, which like 14 years later he made that one.
Yeah.
No, see, I liked, at this point I had fully liked the movie. Lacey and I were very divided on the movie. And I think that my annoyances with the way Rob Zombie, and this is his second movie, I'm sure he got really matured as a filmmaker, because I thought Lords of Salem was great, directed really, really well. As this movie goes along, I feel like he's not doing as many like young filmmaker tricks, just kind of settling in and letting things play out in front of the camera. And I just love this ending. And it's just a classic sort of Western outlaw ending. And then the movie's over.
Except for that he's going to play the credits over a road shot, a shot of like a drone going down the road. So this ends, and I'm like, oh, good, it ended. And then cut to the fucking drone footage of the road. I'm like, no more. Oh, credits. Okay.
Oh, but then directed by Rob Zombie. So we're okay.
Yay.
I love how it starts with the bang and ends with the bang. You start with a shootout and end with a shootout. Cyclical plot.